We are on. Welcome to the open air.
Yeah, welcome to the open air.
Fresh, never frozen. Cheers to that.
Yeah,
says
right.
Says your cup right
I
beside you.
stopped for something to eat on the way over here.
Oh, man.
so.
Culver sounds so good right now.
It was
They should
amazing.
sponsor our podcast.
Right?
I think so.
Yeah, so anybody from Culver's that's listening would like to send us a check, we'd appreciate it.
Yeah. Butter burgers, my
yeah,
favorite.
or custard, right? If you just want to send us a frozen custard, I'd be game for that too.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's
So
good stuff.
we just got back from Kansas.
Yes, we did. What a trip, huh?
From ACCA, ACCA.
Yeah.
If you're on Instagram, anything, pretty much just do search for hashtag ACCA. You'll see all of our content, and I'm going to be adding some more to YouTube and show our content, show what we created while we were there.
Yeah, what a neat trip. I'm glad we went. That was fantastic.
Yeah, me too. So tell our listeners and viewers what we did. You know, what was the purpose of this trip? What we accomplished, what other people accomplished.
So, COVID-19, I needed to get out of the house desperately, right? So I knew, right?
Yeah, me too.
So I got invited to this Aviation Content Creators Awards event, and man, I snatched up the opportunity. That was that's a have to do thing. So it was basically to honor and encourage the people that are creating aviation content. With COVID-19, everybody's sitting at home watching YouTube and the social media and everything else these days, and the people that are creating content that's getting out there are doing a lot of great things. And so my friend Dan Greider wanted to support and encourage those efforts, right? Keep people going, keep people motivated, and encourage some of us that are just new into the, so we started this podcast a few months ago and, working towards building up a YouTube channel with some of our recordings and, clips and things that we're doing.
And this will be on YouTube. We'll put this on YouTube too.
Yeah, absolutely. Look for it.
Do videos.
And so he just wanted to encourage those efforts and, help. So, and it was a great opportunity for people to fly in and just, typical, this time of year is the time of year that there's the traditional Oshkosh Air Venture fly-in.
So those fly-ins have all been canceled then.
All the fly-ins have been canceled this year. So this was an opportunity for people to have a destination to fly to and to get rides to people that create aviation content from YouTube channels and get them rides in cool airplanes and associate with people that they've never met. All of us creators could kind of mingle and meet each other and share ideas and create more content, and we got a ton of stuff off of it. It's going to be fantastic.
Yeah, I guess I didn't realize that the other things had been canceled. That didn't register in my head, and that these people were all missing these types of events, and that's really what drove the number of people to show up, which I was impressed with.
None of these people would have been available if there were other events going on that they would have otherwise been at, right? So we would have all been divided and in all our different niches and different places, and probably none of us would have had an opportunity to get together.
That's wild. So
yeah, so it was a really unique opportunity.
So we did do a live podcast from there, or we did a live recorded podcast from there. It was about an hour long.
Well, we recorded it live, but it didn't airstream live.
Yeah, correct. We did stream a few things live on YouTube. But we had some technical issues with the speed out there. Technical issues.
We learned a lot though from that experience.
We really did.
So now we know what equipment we need to bring. What headphones. Stuff that headphones. We need headphones.
Everybody needs headphones.
And another microphone, and right? So we
need to have a 4-channel
We were sharing
recorder,
a microphone, which looked,
a little weird.
It was not COVID-19 friendly.
I like you, but not that
Yeah,
close.
but I don't like you.
Yeah,
no
when we can
offense.
smell each other's breath on the microphone, that takes it a little too far, I think.
Yeah, you probably shouldn't have had the onions on the hot dog. I'm just saying.
I took the onions off the hot dog. That was my real breath.
Oh. Nice.
That's my dragon breath.
I love it.
Yeah, so it was a blast, So one of the most amazing planes that was there was the Amelia plane, and somehow you got a ride in it and I didn't. I don't know how you qualified for that.
Being me has its advantages. Certainly has its perks on occasion. Although, most people.
I'm used to me getting the favorable treatment.
Well, this is kind of my stomping ground, though, in a sense. So this is a little bit of a turn of events. But the really cool thing about this event was just the fact that airplane was available. So that airplane is a Lockheed Electra Model 12A that was used in the film Amelia. So that's why they dubbed it the Amelia airplane. It's like the Lockheed Electra that she flew.
Yeah. And if you're watching this on YouTube, I'll insert a picture right here so you can see it.
Yeah. And so it was really cool, but he made that available.
It was very shiny
for us. It was really well polished, really well maintained. And I tell you, I got to fly that, and it flew like a dream. It was, for a big, heavy, twin-engine radial airplane that was, what was that, a 1929, I believe.
Oh, it was ancient.
It's a really old airplane. It flew like it's been really well maintained. It just flew. It was so smooth on the controls, and it was, really, really fun to fly.
Yeah, and if you want to check out the airplane and the airplane's owner, his name is Glenn Hancock, Hancock. Glenn, Glenn, and he's on YouTube. He's got a huge channel, and he actually has a video of preparing for this event, how they had to prep the plane and paint and polish, and
super
it was an
great
hour-long
guy.
video.
Yeah, definitely subscribe to his channel and give him a shout out.
But to give people rides, even the general public came and got rides.
He gave
100 rides. He said.
Yeah, over 100 people flew on the airplane that day. So it was, at the expense of running that airplane. I don't know what it burns an hour, but he's probably burning.
I was told $300 an hour for fuel is what I was told.
300 gallons an hour?
$300 per hour.
Possibly.
Yes, that's what I was told. I don't know.
So
that's correct.
So that's probably 50 or 60 gallons of fuel an hour. Maybe more than that. Sounds a little low, maybe, but
yeah.
But yeah, so he's burning through a lot of gas, plus maintenance on the wear and tear on the engines, right? So those engines aren't inexpensive.
Those aren't, because where do you go for parts for those things?
With enough money, you can get anything you want.
Well, yeah. You can have some engineer out there custom making your parts and stuff like
because
that,
there were so many radials back in the day. There's honestly still a lot of parts available for some of the mainstream radial engines. Because, think about it, in World War II, the military stocked thousands and thousands of these engines. And then after the war, they pretty much mothballed them. They didn't even use them anymore. So there's a ton of those engines out there still for parts. But, the parts are getting more and more rare as people are still using them. And, the price just goes up. So it was pretty awesome that he made his plane available and hauled a bunch of rides for us. And
now you did record some on your phone, right?
I did a really cool slow-mo. So when he we take off, we fly around the lake, and we do some just simple maneuvers just to get a feel for flying the airplane. All the passengers in the airplane, this is a cool thing he did. Everybody that was a passenger in the airplane swapped out and got to sit in the pilot seat, or the co-pilot seat rather, right seat, and got to fly the airplane for a while. So we all got a chance to fly it. That was just a really neat experience.
Would I have fit to move around in there? Would I have been able to move around in there?
It was tight for me, so yeah you probably could have, but you would have been really awkward.
It would have been uncomfortable.
It was a tight squeeze.
I didn't even, I don't know why, I didn't even feel the urge to push to fly this weekend.
It was hot.
We had enough to do. It was
really hot. What was it in the 90s? The temperature
was in the 90s, but the field temperature, the wind blowing over the runway right at the Stearman Bar and Grill, it was just really high, and we produced pretty much everything outside.
And the wind, equals to bumps and turbulence. So it was a little bit bumpy out there flying around too. The landings were a little bit of a crosswind.
Can you imagine the STOL planes out there in that wind? That must have been.
They crave the wind because the more headwind that they have coming at them, the slower they can go, and the shorter distance they can land. So they really actually kind of like the wind.
But I bet you feel the bumps in those things.
Yeah, they're a lot lighter, a lot less wing loading. So yeah, they feel the bumps a lot more than we even did in the Electra.
So one of the awesome interviews we did was with Mark Patey, who,
Yeah.
was really into the STOL
Yeah.
airplanes. And
Well,
stuff
his
like that.
brother Mike won a ton of awards at the event, so in fact he won the big overall award for the event for content. He's just incredible.
And he didn't even show up, did he? Was he there?
Oh yeah, he was there.
He was there,
Yeah,
okay.
he was there. He received awards.
I didn't.
Well, he didn't show up for our podcast. He was busy with his wife was there. They were busy doing a ton of stuff.
Oh yeah, there was a ton of stuff going on.
But it was cool that we got his brother Mark. They're twins.
Yeah.
And Mark.
Yeah, we
sat
got
down
about a
with us
half hour with them, and
quite a bit of time. Him and his wife sat there,
and
and they're super great folks. Mike's a really nice guy too. If he would have had time, he would have loved to have sat and talked with us, but
yeah.
we couldn't do everything we wanted, and we had some challenges too because of the heat and the wind. There was no good place really outside, and then
and outside
inside
was
the restaurant was so
Yeah,
busy
it was
there was
busy.
no tables available.
Well, we had one for a little bit in our first broadcast.
Yeah, but
was
they didn't
from
really
their,
like us taking up a table, and we weren't continuously
we took up
ordering
a huge,
food. So.
Yeah, we took up a huge table, and eventually I got to the point where I was like, this is just not cool to see people waiting in line,
Right.
just so we can record a podcast. So we packed up and we moved outside, and it was hot, but we managed to get some really good content.
We did right before the band started, and then once the music started playing, it was so loud we couldn't even hear each other talking to each other, yelling at each other.
And even if we could, it would have been we would have had copyright issues, and we would have had it taken down off of YouTube and everything.
Yeah,
so.
exactly.
Well, hey, let's wrap up segment 1 here.
Yeah.
And we'll be right back after these commercials from Culver's and
After these messages,
Mountain Dew
we'll
and
be right back.
Jeff Jorgensen Enterprises. Thank you very much.